Yeah, my name is Joy Feruzi Kalokola. I am going to talk about declaration of variables, how to assign to them, how to do the selection, how to perform the loop, and how arrays are declared. So in here, in a normal program, we always start with a directive, that is include stdio, and then there is a function, and here we have the four variables: the integer, the character, the float, and the double. So the int is for the integer, the char is for the character, the float is for the decimal float, and the double is also a floating variable, but it has a more place values than the float. So to assign to them or to initialize them, here is how you assign the integer value, and here is the character value, and this is the float value, and this is the double value. After assigning, we are going to ask for the user's input, right? So to ask for the user's input, we are going to use printf. Like here we have used please enter a number. This is the number, and then you have to check for the input by using scan. This is the scan, and this is the memory allocated. And then to output, use also printf, but now you access the value from the memory that it had been stored. So after checking, it stores, but here you access from where it is stored, so as to output. From there, I'm going to show you the selection. The selection, we have the nested if and the if else. The if else, it's here. It will just see if the input or assigned value is meeting the condition. If it meets the condition, it will perform any function that is within the true part of the if. Like for us here, x is equals to 5. If x is equals to 5, it should print you are correct. Else it will tell you to keep on trying. The nested if is just if within an if else. So like here we have the first if, and then there's an if within. If this function is true, so it comes to perform within this if, and then there's if else within, and then there's the outside else. So anything beside these parentheses, it will not be dependable on the if else function. It will be independent. So leaving alone the if else, we are going to talk about the loop. And for the loop, we have the for loop, the nested for loop, we have the while loop, and the do while loop. So these ones, the program will keep coming back until all these functions are fulfilled, so that it may exit. And for if else, you just check once, but for the for loop, for the loops, it will keep coming back until it's untrue. So like for here, the for loop, it will come here, start from w is equals to 0, and then check if w is less than 2, which is true, and then it will come here, print this message, and then go back and increment by 1 the value of w, and then come here, check again, is w less than 2. If it's true, and then it will print this and then increment it again. If this is true, it will do the same, but if this is false, it will come out of the loop. The nested for loop is just a for loop within a for loop. So as this is fulfilled, this is done, and then it will do this. And then the while loop will do work the same way as the for loop, and it will print this and leave the program as long as the w value is still less than 6. And the do while also works the same as the while loop, and we have to keep on incrementing this value of w, so that this will always come at a point that it will be untrue, so that the program will exist. So with all this, I'm also going to show you the arrays. So for an array, we see we have the one-dimensional array, and then we have the two-dimensional array. So for an array, this value stands for one dimension stands for the number of columns, but for a 2 dimension, this is the row and this is the number of columns. So to initialize the value, like the normal variables, it's also done in this manner. This it will be printed in 0, and the memory is 07. So the row will be 0, but the column will be 7. It will have the value 6. And this one, the row will be 1, and it will have the value, and the column 2, it will have the value 9. So as I said, I'm going to demonstrate this. So like here, let me increment the value of s, so that we can test our program. So you can see here, after we built it, it says successful. So we are going to run it and see everything. I'm going to close this and run everything. So I'm going to enter a number, like for us here it's supposed to be 5. So if it's 5, you are correct. I'm told to enter a number again. Since it's in using the do while loop, I'm going to enter like 36. It's telling me to keep on trying, and then since I had said if I'm wrong I should exit the program, so I am exiting the program.